Hey, what's up everyone? It's Rich. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga. I can't stop. Wait, hold on. That's the first one. Alright guys, so today, finally, I'm doing my review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Alright, so first off, right off the bat, I will say this is a great movie. I thought it did a lot. I thought I did a lot of bigger and better things in different aspects in this movie, and I'll get to that in a bit. I think when people go and watch this movie, they're gonna enjoy it. They're gonna laugh a lot. This movie is funny, a lot funnier actually than the first one. And everyone's just gonna have a good time. And on top of that, it's a Marvel movie. They have a template that we all know and love and cherish and adore, and we're passionate about it because they do it so well, and this is no different. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is another hit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With that said, everyone is back. Director James Gunn did an amazing job directing this movie, and like I said, everyone's back. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Bradley Cooper, the voice of Rocket, Vin Diesel, the voice of, in this case, Baby Groot, Karen Gillan's back, Nebula, and you have all these other characters. Ego, the Living Planet, Kurt Russell is here also. Michael Rooker, Yondu, he's back. Sean Gunn, yeah, you know, James Gunn's brother, yeah, he's back too. There's a lot of awesome actors in this movie. There's a cameo by Sylvester Stallone. That's not really a spoiler. If in terms of story-wise, if you know the comics, in a way, it's kind of like a minor cameo, minor spoiler. But in terms of just people in general, they're not really gonna know who that is. But you know, that's all good. It's all good. Oh, and also, wow, I can't believe I forgot her. Mantis, Palm Clementif. I believe that's her. That's how you pronounce her name. But she's amazing in this as well. Everyone in this cast is amazing. I mean, let's be honest. The first one, they hit it out of the park. They were firing on all cylinders, and the first one was just such a high bar that James Gunn set himself up to. That at least for the second one, I don't think he nailed it quite enough as much as the first one. And look, here's the thing. I've watched the movie twice already. So in my first viewing, I knew it was a good movie. I just didn't know how I felt about it coming out of the movie, because let's be honest, for majority of the people, the first one, like I said, set such a high bar that it was basically perfection or masterpiece for most of us, you know, for me in particular. And when this second one came out after watching the movie, I came out of the theater and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like I said, I thought it was a really good movie. I just didn't know if it made an impact to me as much as the first one did. The first one was so fresh, was so unexpected, and was so fun that when this movie came out, this Volume 2, it was more the same thing, except there was something missing there. And I figured it out. For me, and you can say whatever you want for the first one in terms of the villain. The villain was pretty weak, but it was one of those cases where we knew who the villain was. Not taking anything away from the second one, I thought the second one did an amazing job, especially marketing in the trailers, not who the villain is, but on how we didn't know who the villain is for this movie. I thought that was a good twist, because I really didn't see it coming. I don't want to get too much into the actual story itself, because I think when you find out who the true villain in this story is, you're just like, oh snap. Oh snap. That's how I felt. But in terms of overall story, I thought the first one did a better job overall giving this group a mission to do. Where in this movie, I thought it was more of an emotional journey for each and every single character. And I guess for me, watching the second one, it was one of those things where like I wanted the same thing as the first one, but bigger and better. Where in this case, this is bigger and better in terms of character. I thought all the characters in this movie did such an amazing job but like diving in who the character is. You know, you get Peter Quill finally meets his father, and then you have Rocket, who's trying to figure out why he's doing what he's doing. And on top of that, you have Baby Groot, who's still a kid, kind of learning his ways around things. And on top of that, you have Batista, you know, Drax, kind of having this not somewhat mentor, kind of like a relationship with Mantis. And on top of that, you have the sisters, Nebula and Gamora, pretty much seeing how they worked, you know, those two dynamic and how they were both treated differently in Thanos' point of view. So in this case, you know, this whole movie is definitely a bigger, more emotional arc for each and every character, but in terms of everything else, I thought it didn't fall short. I'm not saying this is a bad movie. This is a great movie. I said it in the beginning, but it kind of fell a little bit short in terms of what I was expecting coming off of the first one. I thought the action sequences here were not forgettable, but were not as rememberable. That's not even a word. I thought in the first one there was a lot more action sequences that I thought popped. I remember the Nova Corps where they were forming this huge giant wall, and that was heartbreaking especially when Ronan's thing, you know, freaking break through. And there was, you know, that whole fight sequence in the last one was such an awesome job, especially when they were finally coming down and all the Ravagers with Rocket kind of like started like, you know, freaking, all right, we're gonna shoot everything up. And so, and then there's that, and also there's the prison breakout scene. The first one, there's also a prison breakout scene here with Yondu. That's all I'm gonna say. I think that if anything, that is the best action sequence in this movie. And that's pretty much it. In the first one, again, there's a prison breakout scene, there's the last scene, and on top of that, come on, there's a dance scene, guys. There's a dance scene in the first one. Come on. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Yeah. And that's another thing that I thought the second one didn't do quite as well, is that the soundtrack. I thought the first one, the soundtrack popped a lot. Let's be honest. If you're into music, or if you listen to 80s music or 70s music, or just old school music, those songs in the first one were definitely more iconic than the second one here. This is just me, but this is my opinion, but Ain't No Mountain High Enough is such a big song that I think that song in and of itself is bigger than the whole soundtrack for Volume 2. That's just one song. Everyone knows Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I mean, that song has been used in a good amount of movies, and on top of that, unlike, you know, on other things as well, documentaries or whatever it is, that song, people know that song just in general. On top of that, here's the thing, you get Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Suede, and that song itself made Guardians, okay, here, well, hold on. So Hooked on a Feeling made Guardians what it is, and Guardians made Hooked on a Feeling what that is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Hooked on a Feeling pretty much said, this is the Guardians of the Galaxy. With that song, you relate, whenever you hear that song, or at least for me, whenever I hear that song, I relate that to Guardians of the Galaxy. Whenever I think of the Guardians of the Galaxy, I relate Hooked on a Feeling to that, you know, because that was such an iconic song that when the first one came out, that's the thing that popped, you know. I can't stop this feeling. You know what I mean? Like, it popped right away. You're like, oh, this is the tone that they're going for. In this movie, in Volume 2, there wasn't really any of that, you know, to be honest with you. I mean, and here's the thing, I actually do know all these songs in Volume 2 also. And I do actually like and love some of them, but they didn't pop as much. I think the first one, the soundtrack was definitely more iconic. Right off the bat, you have, again, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Hooked on a Feeling. You got Come and Get Your Love, not the very first song, but the first song Star-Lord dances to. Another classic scene in that first movie. And then you have I Want You Back not Michael Jackson, but Jackson 5, and that's when, you know, Baby Groot was dancing, they were flying off in space, and, you know, and just that alone is 4. I can tell you probably one song, or coming out of the movie, I can probably tell you that one song, and that one song in this Volume 2 is Brandy, because they definitely hit that, and that was part of the story too. Other than that, I was just like, I knew all these songs, but I couldn't tell you what the actual title is. Whereas in the first one, I just named 4 right off the bat, you know. Again, iconic soundtrack in the first one, awesome soundtrack in the second one, but not as iconic or, you know, / legendary as the first one. So those were the things that I thought this Volume 2 didn't quite meet to my expectation. And it took me 2 viewings to finally appreciate, not so much appreciate, but to finally level where my expectation is. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into the story. I'll save that for my spoilers review, because I can talk about this movie, any comic book movie I can talk about for a long time. So I'm gonna save that for my spoilers review. I will be doing that soon. right when this drops, I'll be releasing the spoilers review soon afterwards. But yeah, again, awesome characters, awesome soundtrack. Just overall, really, really good movie, or great movie, really great movie. Just didn't live up to my expectations. Maybe that's not fair, but for me, the first one was such a perfection that this was just underneath it. Just underneath, just a little bit underneath. And before I end this review, a few things I do want to say. Yondu steals the whole movie. I thought his story arc in this movie was such an amazing... They did such an amazing job, and Michael Rooker nailed it. Freaking nailed it. Palm Clementif, Mantis, such a refreshing character. Added another layer to the dynamic of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and also Nebula. I thought that was a different dynamic that she added, and again, these characters, I would just love to see this movie, or just the Guardians of the Galaxy, in their ship. Like, a movie just about them going to a mission, and that's it. Them bantering, I mean, that's what the Guardians of the Galaxy is. Also, I completely forgot. As much as this movie is a lot funnier than the first one, I thought that some of the jokes didn't land. And that's the thing. This movie is bigger and better in some cases, but the jokes were bigger, but not so much better. There's a lot of jokes, but some of the jokes did fall flat. So in a way, the first one where I thought all the jokes landed, even though there was less of them. In this one, there's so much more jokes that you're gonna have hits or misses, you know? Sometimes less is more, and in this case, quality over quantity. And for me, that's exactly what happened to the jokes in Volume 2. I'm gonna reiterate once again that this is a great movie. Just didn't just didn't meet my expectations. So that's that. That's my review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I will be coming back to do a spoilers review because there's so much more to talk about, and especially the end credit scenes. Come on! And all the Easter eggs and cameos. It's freaking amazing. It's freaking amazing. And as for my ratings, I will say this. The first viewing, after coming off the first viewing, I gave this a 7, maybe even a 7.5. But after the second viewing, this is my final review, or my final rating of this movie. But it took me second viewings to finally get to it. But my final rating for this movie, I will give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 an 8. Harbulary batteries out of 10. God, that was such an awesome... That is nowhere near what I just said. Alright everyone, thank you guys for watching. As always, if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click that like button and subscribe as well. Thank you very much. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, have you guys seen it? Let's be honest, you guys have seen it. Like, come on, like, if you didn't see it, go watch it. It's freaking amazing. But if you have seen it, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. I would appreciate it. I would love to start a conversation with each and every one of you, all the viewers. Comment below. I want to know your thoughts and feelings about this. Did it take you guys 2 viewings to love this movie? Because it took me 2 viewings to actually truly appreciate what this movie was about. Not saying that I didn't appreciate it the first time around, but it took 2 viewings to actually love this movie. Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know if you guys are going to watch it again. I think I'm gonna. Honestly, I'm gonna go watch this again. I'm gonna watch it. It's a fun movie. It's a great movie. Go check it out. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Go! And once again, thank you guys for watching. I am Rich, and I am out. Stay tuned for my spoilers review next time, dropping in a few days. And remember, stay awesome, my friends.